I'm going to call the council meeting to order. Could all please rise for a moment of silence? Thank you. And if you could turn and face the flag for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. All right, can we have the roll call of council members, please?
Lehman. Here. Hodak. Cassidy.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Grine.
Here.
Mendoza. Here. Lake.
Here.
Move to excuse Councilperson Podak.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Lehman, a second by Cassidy to excuse Councilperson Podak from the meeting. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Cassidy.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Grine.
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
All right, Councilperson Podak is excused. Someone like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the previous meeting?
I'll move to approve the previous meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion by Mendoza, a second by Baker to approve the previous meeting minutes. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Baker.
Yes.
Grine.
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Cassidy.
Yes.
Those have been approved. Any communications?
I have none.
All right, moving into report of committees, Finance Committee.
Nothing new to report. The next meeting will be Tuesday, June 17th at 5:30 p.m. in council chambers.
Great, thank you very much. Public Affairs Committee.
We have several community events to report on that will be happening in the next couple of weeks. First, the second quarterly Convos with Council will take place this Saturday, June 7th at 11 a.m. in the McLean Room at the library. All are welcomed. On Wednesday, June 11th, the Fostoria Community Arts Council in the city of Fostoria will be hosting Lunch on the Lawn from 12 to 1 on the city lawn, featuring music by Papa Teague and food by Fostoria Pizza Palace. Next Friday, June 13th, a Mom and Pop Tattoo Shop will be hosting a food truck and flash sale starting at 11 a.m. Also next Friday, June 13th, the Independence House is hosting a car show in their parking lot beginning at 5 p.m. and will include food and raffles. The second annual Juneteenth Jamboree of Greater Fostoria will take place Saturday, June 14th at Foundation Park from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. The event will include food, music, a guest speaker, an awards presentation, and children's activities, with the Wayne Wright Amphitheater serving as the hub for the activities. Also next Saturday, June 14th, the City of Fostoria Glass Pageant will take place at 2 p.m. in the Fostoria City Schools Performing Arts Center. And finally, next Sunday, June 15th, the Fostoria Community Arts Council will kick off their summer concert series with the Fostoria Community Band from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Wayne Wright Amphitheater located within Foundation Park. Thank you, that is all.
Awesome, thank you. Law and Ordinance Committee.
Just a reminder that the Law and Ordinance Committee will meet again on Tuesday, June 17th at 5:15 here in council chambers.
Thank you very much. Report of officers, bypassing the mayor, Director of Public Service and Safety.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. It's great to be back amongst this wonderful group of folks here, and I just give you a brief report, an update on not the ODOT project that is in the city council packet, but the one we've been anticipating for a number of years, the Lido Street project, and so that is scheduled tentatively for mid-July of this year. They'll begin a project on the east side of Bettsville that they'll go through I think the village of Bettsville all the way to the city limits on Route 12. And once they finish that project, they'll pick up and come and begin the construction of Lido Street from mid-block all the way to Columbus Avenue, 23 south from Lido all the way out to the city limits to the south. So we've been anticipating that big project for a long time. I know to be welcome by a lot of our citizens, and so we're looking forward to that one. Demolition is nearly complete at the area for the splash pad, and the crews are ready to start construction of the splash pad right after that is finished. And we anticipate that the demolition being done sometime this week, hopefully, and then they can begin construction of the splash pad shortly thereafter. And then the construction project that is going on in the front of our building, the Community Development Block Grant Project, to make the front of the building ADA compliant, a little easier for folks with mobility issues to get in and out of the building. So the concrete portion is done. The ramp has been poured. New steps have been poured. The railing went on for the ramp today. There's still railing that goes in for the steps. And then the second phase will begin right after that. And that is the kind of the inner alcove with the new doors. And then revamping of the countertop in the water office to make it a little easier for folks that have mobility issues as well. So that should be, I know they were in today finishing up the railing. So hopefully in the next week or so, they start on the inside piece. And always a reminder that that box by the police department is open for folks that want to drop off their water bill. Very convenient just to drive through and drop it off. We still have payments available online, and we're working on the next piece of it to make it so that people can still walk in the building, but once the front portion begins. But we're really encouraging, while there's construction going on, to please, if you can, use those drop-off locations. And we are working our way through some plans we've had a leak issue in the basement for quite some time. We're waiting for the actual building plans to be finished. There's just a couple pieces to get accomplished before that can go out to bid. And what we anticipate is the reconstruction of this back wall. This corner of the building over here had a little issue with some settling, so there'll be some, I call them pylons that we'll put in that stabilizes that corner of the building. And then we plan on, because we'll be digging in the parking lot, repaving, restriping the parking lot. What we talked about is changing the flows so that the police department can go out that way and not have to back out onto Tiffin Street and drive through a lot if they have a call. So that's all anticipated to get done sometime this summer. We'll probably be coming to you asking you to go out for bid on a project. So that's all I have for right now. Try not to be too long-winded for tonight, but yes, sir.
How long will the splash pad take? Do you have any idea?
I don't know, but I'll get back to you at the next meeting about exactly what's anticipated. Most likely it'll be finished sometime in the winter, most likely. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Director of Law,
I have no report tonight. Thank you.
the Director of Finance.
Nothing to report.
All right, we'll move into the public portion of the meeting. We have one person who requested speaking time. So Deb Tyson, if you'd like to come up and limit your comments to 10 minutes.
Okay, Deb Tyson, 800 Woodward Avenue, Lot 9. I came to talk about a matter that's been on my heart for some time. We're always so busy that we, say we're going to stop and see this or that, and we are doing better as a town. But with that said, I would like to talk about Fostoria resources. As Ben pointed out, I attended a funeral this week, and it's not well known, our resources. I did point out how the city webpage does have some resources, and I was able to show them that, but that didn't cover them. And I also mentioned some other things, but we talked about blessing boxes, which has been brought up before, and they said that was a good thing and very helpful. But I would also like to mention that Pantry Plus of Seneca County, a lot of people don't know that it's out on US 23. They think it's still out here on Main Street. And I've been trying to point that out, but anybody can go there that fits the guidelines on any Friday at 9 o'clock. They just need a birth certificate for children, a piece of mail for them, and an ID. And they provide, all kinds of dried foods, dairy, meat, everything. They even provide laundry soap, cat and dog food. They do an excellent job, and they do it all with volunteers. I can't say what a great job they do, since especially our sharing kitchen is still down. And there's a lot of people that kind of have went through a loophole because of that. And, you know, a lot of people don't know that. But I'd also like to mention that Fostoria Baptist Church has a pantry where you can get clothes as well as food, as well as toiletries. And it's on the last Sunday of every month at 6 p.m. And that's out on Lytle Street. Then I also wanted to mention that a lot of people, they don't realize that United Way also has resources. They think about first call for help because that's, they're basically over that. But the United Way houses first call for help. So you can get information. And I just wanted to put that out because it's just been a lot of people, they're like, there's people that are even moving to Fostoria. They're like, what do I do? Where do I go? What if you don't have no family or friends here? You do need somewhere to go to get started. But I think that the transparency that we have, I really like the web page that the city has. I can't say enough about that. I just invite everybody to come here to City Council and hear this for themselves. I mean, yeah, they can listen to it on YouTube, but that's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Ms. Tyson. We will now open it up to other members of the public that wish to speak. You may come forward to the podium. We ask that you speak in the microphone, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Ed Sheeter, 635 West Fremont Street. I was just coming to make everybody aware and go over the scheduling and thank the city for the help that it's been on bringing the Vietnam Wall here. On the 26th, we'll be escorting it into town. It should become, we're leaving Finley with escorting the wall at 9 o'clock. We will be parading through Finley, coming down 12, in on Lytle Street to mid-block, down in front of the fire station, out County Line Street, and then down Park Avenue. If people want to see the procession, it'll be the transporter that hauls the monuments, as well as a group of motorcycles escorting it. We should be hitting the city about 9:45-ish. Again, the city has been very gracious with providing us with escorts and everything else we've needed on this. We'll be setting it up that Thursday. Opening ceremony should be about 4 o'clock, where we will have speakers from here locally, as well as Fostoria Community Band. And then the monument will be open for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 24 hours a day. I've got some flyers here on it. If anybody wants to volunteer, Joe Mason's number is on here, and they can call him directly because I would probably screw it up.
Thanks.
So.
If you want to pass those out, you can, or if you want to set them there, we'll grab them on the way out. But thank you very much. All right. Anyone else from the public? Seeing none, we'll move into old business. The first item will remain tabled.
An ordinance amending section 951.03 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Regulations for Use of Boats and Watercraft on Reservoirs to permit water department use.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Lehman, a second by Lake to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
That ordinance passes. It's ordinance number 2025-40.
An ordinance amending section 951.05 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Recreational Activities at Parks and Reservoirs, to remove reference to the municipal swimming pool.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Cassidy, a second by Baker to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
That ordinance passes as ordinance number 2025-41.
An ordinance amending section 951.07 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Waterfowl Hunting at Fostoria Reservoirs 5 and 6, to remove reference to Parks and Recreation Director.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Cassidy, a second by Mendoza to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
That carries and becomes ordinance number 2025-42.
An ordinance amending section 951.08 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Group Usage of City Parks and Recreational Activities, to remove authorization for alcoholic beverages and remove reference to previous Meadowlark Park lease.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Grine, a second by Baker to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza.
Yes.
That carries and becomes ordinance number 2025-43.
An ordinance amending section 955.06 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Hours Open, to exclude funerals and burials on Sundays.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Lake, second by Mendoza to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
That ordinance passes as ordinance number 2025-44. Thank you.
An ordinance granting consent to the Director of Transportation of the State of Ohio and authorizing the mayor on behalf of the City of Fostoria, Ohio, hereinafter referred to as the Local Public Agency, LPA, to enter into contracts with the Director of Transportation necessary to complete described and road diet projects and declaring an emergency to exist.
Is there any discussion on this one? Are there any motions on the floor on this one?
I will make a comment.
Okay.
In my travels about town, I got a lot of negative comments about that project. From safety standpoint to lack of being real effective for the money being spent, so.
So procedurally, if there's no motions on the table, we can kill it for the lack of a motion, or you could call the question and vote accordingly. It's up to you. We will consider it dead by lack of motion.
An ordinance to submit to the voters of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, a ballot measure levying a renewal of 5-year 1% municipal income tax, in addition to the permanent 1% income tax established by ordinance number B664, and declaring an emergency to exist.
That was the second reading of that ordinance.
A resolution establishing Tuesday, November 4th, 2025 as the date for the election relating to the enactment of a continued 5-year 1% income tax levy and declaring an emergency to exist.
That was the second reading of that resolution.
I've got a question for the finance director.
Sure.
Are we under any time constraints to get this in?
No, that's right. There is a time constraint. We have to file it by August.
Okay.
That's why we put it on early enough to get 3 readings in.
Okay.
That's to put it on the ballot this year, correct? But it doesn't, the current levy doesn't expire until 2026. So if we didn't put it on this year, we'd still have a couple opportunities to put it on next year. But we're just, trying to stay ahead of the game.
Thank you. Next one.
An ordinance enacting new section 109.02 of chapter 109 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Control of Access to City-Owned, Controlled, and Leased Property to establish regulations for conduct within and upon city property.
That is the second reading of that ordinance.
An ordinance to amend the traffic control map and file for the city of Fostoria, Ohio, removing 2-hour parking limitations on the 600 and 700 blocks of West Tiffin Street.
That is the second reading of that ordinance.
An ordinance establishing the city of Fostoria Mechanic Division and the position, responsibilities, and qualifications for the position of full-time working foreman for the city of Fostoria, Ohio, and declaring an emergency to exist.
That is the second reading of that ordinance and concludes old business. We will move into new business.
An ordinance to enact Chapter 153 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Parks Board, establishing a Parks Board.
That is the first reading of that ordinance and concludes new business. Yes, ma'am.
I would make a motion that we amend
Okay.
that ordinance to reflect an effective date of August 1, 2025. I believe that might be a typo. I believe what went through Law and Order had August 1, 2025, so that it could go through the 3 reading rule.
Okay. So just a procedural question then, if we do the full 3 readings, it wouldn't pass until July 1st, so it could still go into effect on August 1st because that'd be within the 30 days after, because it's not an emergency. Okay. Then that would be in order at this time.
Okay.
Do we have a second for that amendment?
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Lehman, a second by Mendoza to make the effective enactment date of this ordinance to August 1st, 2025. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
Great. That amendment does carry. That'll be reflective in the next version of that ordinance for the next meeting. All right. Is there any need to go into executive session this evening? Nina, is there any miscellaneous business this evening? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Cassidy, a second by Lake to adjourn. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Grine,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned at 6:24 p.m.